Hi everybody, it's Josh. Over the past few months I've made a few friends in the United Kingdom, and it's been really fun as far as the exchange of culture. I've learned a lot, and I think I've also given a little bit of insight into what it's like over here, but I found out that there are a lot of misconceptions. And I think the reason is that pretty much whatever Hollywood puts out, everyone kind of accepts as fact about American life, and it's really not always the case. So this video is basically to dispel those misconceptions and some popular myths. I'm going to talk a little bit about where I'm from, specifically Texas, the state, and then America in general. Texas, first of all, it's the biggest state in America. You've heard it, everything's bigger in Texas. Actually, as far as land mass goes, it's Alaska, but Alaska is actually made up of about 3/5 glacial ice. So that we really don't count that, 'cause, it's kind of a pride thing. There are three big cities. Anyway, there's Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, which is the capital of Texas, and Houston. And the rest of Texas is basically either farmland or desert. If you've ever seen a Western movie, you kind of know what I'm talking about. In the places that there are schools, it's kind of rare to find school buses or any real sort of public transportation, because Americans really don't use much public transportation at all. In Texas, we actually are taught to ride horses at a fairly young age, and we will ride those to school. The younger kids, of course, riding ponies with guardians. Typically, if you see a Texan, they're fairly easy to spot because of the cowboy hats. They're not just ornamental; they're very functional. Also, they keep the sun out of your eyes for one thing, but also if your canteen runs dry, which it occasionally does, it's kind of a long trek. But the 10-gallon hat, or cowboy hat, it's another word for it, can be used to transport water very, very effectively. You lose the whole blocking the sun thing, but water's more important than that, obviously. And now on to some facts about America. Our national anthem, you probably know, is "My Country, 'Tis of Thee." If you've never heard it before, I can't imagine you haven't, but my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where our fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. And that might sound a little familiar to you, because it was taken directly, stolen, honestly, from God Save the Queen. God Save the Queen, you know what I'm talking about. We tend to stay away from big cities, because of how many movies are constantly being filmed. It's not rare at all to have car chases or big buildings being exploded for movies. You may have heard that our economy has kind of been drooping lately. It's getting a lot tougher to buy leather, it's a big deal. I mean, most of us have leather jackets. I mean, there's that right there is the one I wore today. It's a status thing. Obviously, we all have guns. The motto really for that is guns don't kill people, people kill people. And we really take that to heart. In the wrong hands, a weapon is dangerous, but it's also, because of that, we have to kind of fend off the dangerous people. There's one by the door, obviously, in case someone was to attempt to break in. And it infrequently happens. Once you've lived with it for a long time, it's kind of, you forget it happens. America is the land of opportunity. That's been our slogan. Visit America. I made my first million when I was 16, 17. I was kind of tilling around in the backyard, around the garden, and I struck oil. I was actually the third person in my family to do that. That money went away fairly quickly. So that's why I'm working again. One major difference that we have as far as the USA and the UK is football. Now, what you call football, we call soccer. No one here really plays it. I've seen one televised broadcast of it. We have American football, which we just call football because we're American already. It's kind of like a war game. we set up opposing sides in a very Napoleonic War style, and they just kind of march into each other. They're judged really by time, how long it takes them to get from one end of the field to the other. Another major difference we have is in spelling. I think as a rebellion thing, what America did is we just decided to cut down on a lot of U's. So if you take the word color, the way you spell it, C-O-L-O-U-R. The way we spell it, C-O-L-O-R. In fact, I understand in the UK, the word "you" is spelled Y-O-U, which we don't actually do unless someone is highly respected. Typically, if we're down on our luck as far as money goes, we can find someone to sue. I've had the unfortunate opportunity to be in 3 lawsuits myself. I lost the lawsuit in which I was sued, and that would be where a lot of the money from the oil strike went. But I gained some of that back when I sued McDonald's for making me overweight. I really hope that I've cleared the air a little bit, and I welcome any questions you have about America. I mean, it's what we're here for, to help each other.